Welcome to Culture on Tap. We are a podcast that is about bridging the cultural gap, one conversation at a time. We have myself, Xavier Bright. We have Range Armentar and Dale Young, and our special guest for the past 2 weeks, including this one, 3, Eric Hudson. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share on anywhere you listen to or watch podcasts. And make sure to hit the bell so that you get notifications whenever we have new content coming out so that you can tap in with us.
All right, so today, sometimes we pre-know what we're going to do is fun facts of the range, but sometimes they just organically show up. So yesterday, if you haven't watched our yesterday Get to Know You, we were talking about our favorite holiday that's not Christmas. We're not going to give those answers back out. You can go back and watch it and like and subscribe, help our algorithm. But in that process, we kept talking about Xavier and Eric. Eric now and Xavier used to live in places that had 4 seasons, and immediately what you couldn't see is Range got puzzled and held up the number 4 to me, which tells me that either you think we're lying or there just seems to be something going on here in your brain.
Well,
I need you to name all 4 seasons. You got it. I believe in you.
So I guess I didn't realize. I'm sure at one point in time in my life I was taught this, and I should remember.
There's no way you was on the National Honor Society and you ain't know there's 4 seasons.
So I guess I didn't realize that fall and spring were like actual seasons.
What were they?
What would you?
I don't know. I thought they were kind of like autumn. What is autumn?
That's fall.
Well, there you go.
So what are the 4? Wait, what are the 4 seasons to you?
Well, I guess if there's 4, it's summer, winter, fall, and spring.
Correct. So what did you think were the seasons?
Summer and winter.
Well, that's Texas. So why would people so what did you think? Where did you think fall and spring fell?
Well, at the time of the year that they fall, but I don't know. I don't know.
So apparently he thought summer and spring were combined to make autumn. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or fall.
Or fall.
And then what would it combine to make the other? So what? Yeah.
So I guess more so I thought there was more than 4 than less than 4.
Okay. Name all of them you thought they were.
So, summer, winter, fall, spring, autumn, and
Nevada.
Give them. I got to hear this last one.
Yeah.
I got to hear this
Canada.
last one.
And then I just figured there was another one that I didn't know the name of.
Arctic.
Arctic blast.
I feel like I would,
But I didn't know. Like I don't know what defines the name of something to be a full blown season.
What are we talking about?
Bro, I have no. I'm like.
I feel like I don't know. Like, well, summer is summer because it's. I mean, I don't know when they decided it was called summer. It's always been summer,
Right.
and I'm sure they did spring, fall, and winter at the same. Like they didn't go. Let's name summer, and in 20 years we'll name the other places of time or weather.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't in on all that.
I'm aware. I find it. How do you not know? Like what age do you learn that there's 4 seasons? I feel like that's like kindergarten.
Well, for Range, it's how old are you, Range?
I said I'm sure that somebody at some point in time told me.
Right, but I feel like there's certain things you learn and you don't even remember when you learn. You just know it. Right? Am I wrong?
Or you just don't care.
Hold on. Wait, this actually is going to go right into our topic of conversation, I believe. What are we talking about today?
Special needs.
Okay. I mean, we may as well just get started. I feel like we're already right in there.
I feel like there's a bucket full of things that in your life. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is crazy for me to say this, and y'all can feel free to disagree. Feel free to disagree in the comments. I feel like there's a bucket full of things you just sometime in your life found out and you just know that this is true. Like it's not even like
But you just randomly believe those things?
No, I vividly remember whenever we were learning the days of the week,
you kind of did it all at the same time.
you did the seasons, days of the week. Like you were doing all of these different songs together, and you learned about
I just
winter,
remember,
spring, summer, fall.
like,
And they teach you based off of the trees, how the trees change. Winter, it's all dead and it's not alive. And then spring, they spring up and they bloom. Summer, it's all green. And then fall, you have the leaves changing colors and falling off. Like I vividly remember, that's kindergarten. I vividly remember that.
So then where did autumn come from?
It's fall.
So why does fall have two names and for the same time?
Why is it A honor roll and banner roll? I don't know.
I mean, I guess.
well, autumn, I
But-
think it has to do with fall because
I-
the leaves
I
are
think that's
falling.
where I
and
got-
autumn is the color. Like,
I think that's where I got the most mixed
Okay.
up.
okay,
I can see that.
That part I
Is
get.
on
That
the
makes sense.
fall and
I just feel
autumn.
like I remember in
Autumn.
school, like, okay, the teacher taught us like these are the holidays that are in spring, and these are the things that you do in spring. In the summer, you go to the beach. You do the like I just like
you
I just
actually remember that.
yeah, like I distinctly remember like on her like on the wall she had like summer, and then she would like had all these like little like it was a felt board, and you could go. She goes put things that go in the summer, and I remember grabbing the beach ball. Put it in on there. She goes, "Why are you putting the beach ball? Beach ball? Because you go to the beach in the summer." And she goes, "Good."
You got to add a boy.
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I'm in kindergarten, so like I'm not supposed to be like figuring out multiplication, like so.
Were you put on the honor roll because of that?
Banner roll.
The banner roll?
Roll. Yeah. No. And see, and there's very, very little. I don't remember any classroom stuff about kindergarten.
You don't remember middle school, so there's no chance you're remembering kindergarten.
No.
Like, I wonder, are you from this? I'm starting to think the X might be right that you're not from this world. Like that, like maybe that's why you can't remember those things.
Maybe the joke's on us.
Maybe the joke's on us.
I mean, I don't know. No, I
Maybe
don't-
you're the superior race.
I would, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and here's what it is that he comes from the planet of simplicity. And we have made this stuff way too
That's my
complicated.
thing. Like, yo, there's too many names for things. There's
Yes.
way too much stuff that doesn't matter that you know.
I will agree with you on that. There's
Like-
a lot of useless information out there.
Way too much useless information.
I mean,
like
we-
the names of actors. Like,
The name, their names.
Who really cares about their names? As
that's
long as
my
they act
thing.
well on the screen,
as
right?
long as they act well, why do I need to remember their name?
When let me in following ranges down this rabbit hole, when he's doing a great job at work, who really cares that he's range? He's done his job well.
The job's done.
The job's done. Who needs to know all these actors?
I mean, because and this is a whole nother situation.
This is a rabbit hole, isn't it?
we are in here now.
But so they've got their real name, then they've got their names from however many movies or whatever they're on, but like, how in the world do y'all remember all of that?
Well, it depends on if you tell. So, like, we'll use Chris Pratt.
No idea who.
Okay,
that is.
so Chris Pratt is the guy's real name. But if they ask
Maybe
me,
because even some actors have changed their name that their mom and
right,
daddy
and
gave them
maybe it wasn't his biological, but it's the
to
name
become
that-
their
yeah.
new
Actor.
actor name, and then they get a name from the
But
movie.
as
that they're
far
on.
as I know, Chris Pratt is his name. So if he asks me, who is Chris Pratt in Guardians? I know that his name in Guardians is Star-Lord, Peter Quill.
Oh.
So like I associate it with the movie, and like if I said Jurassic World, we know his name is Owen. I don't know.
Just
his
Owen.
name. Yeah, Owen. So like it's not that I like remember all his names. I watched the movie, so like
Yeah, but I watched Guardians also. I
okay.
didn't know what the guy's name was.
I'm not. I don't know if you feel like I should be surprised by that.
No, I'm just saying, like,
You ever thrown a dart at a dartboard and the dart just falls? You know, I think it just when Range is watching a movie, this information is like darts coming at him, and it's like.
But I'm just.
Chris
You
Pratt.
said there's a lot of
Owen.
simplicity. There's a lot of useless information. So are you implying that fall and spring are useless information? That summer and winter are the only ones that are useful?
when you live here, it is.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But you don't just go here. Like you've traveled.
I have. Yeah. Like I said, I think where all this started, autumn really messed me up.
Blew you off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I put together autumn as not real along with fall and spring.
Well, autumn is real. It's just not the official name of the season.
Right.
So thank you for
Yeah.
letting us deep in there. Like
Ooh. There's a lot going on.
so there's a lot.
Or
not
there's
much
not
going on.
a lot going on.
Maybe Range is the most
There's some-
complex person from the planet of simplicity.
You know, there's some space for rent.
So back, like you said, this.
The other people from Aliens from Galaxy Quest,
Yeah,
Tim Allen.
he has no idea who you're talking about. So, which transitions well into our episode today about special needs. And so, first of all, we want to be clear. Neither one of us, both of us have daughters that are special needs. We are not
Making fun.
speaking absolutes for all people that have special. This is
Yeah.
our experiences with our daughters and our friendships, and in our opinion. You might have a different opinion. We are not.
In a different experience.
Absolutely. So please don't hear us going, this is absolute for everyone. This is what we believe from what we've dealt with. So initially it says, who is Ryan, who is Sophia? We kind of covered that last week, so we'd love for you to go back and watch that episode. But on the special needs part of it, for us, Ryan is autistic, and she is she's still considered nonverbal. Her verbal has gone up some in the last few years, but she's still nonverbal. She is a little higher functioning than Sophia, which Sophia has more stuff than just autism. And but because Ryan is potty trained, and her cognitive skills are a little higher than
sure.
Sophia. And then Sophia, go ahead.
Sophia is 10 years old, almost 11. She'll be 11 in October. She has the mental capacity of about a 1.5 to 2-year-old. That's based on her, on the things that she can do on her own without the assistance of mom and dad. She pretty much takes 100%. It takes, she needs us for just about everything. She can feed herself with her hands, but she cannot pick up a eating utensil to put food on it. Sophia is not potty trained. She cannot bathe herself. She cannot get herself in and out of the bathtub. Although she can walk, but when she walks awkwardly. And she's nonverbal also. I'm thinking because I have to do a chart every day because I'm also her CNA, certified nurse assistant, which means I pretty much give her all of her everything she can't do. I am there for, and so I'm actually going through the checklist in my head of what she can and cannot do. Again, she's not potty trained, so she can't take care of herself in that way. She can't brush her hair on her own. She can't brush her teeth on her own. So obviously there's. And I think the list is endless. It's a long list.
Well, and does Sophia? I think this is where Ryan and Sophia do differ. Is Sophia? Ryan doesn't brush her teeth, but Ryan will go get her toothbrush and toothpaste and want to brush her teeth.
No,
Sophia does not do those type things.
In fact, she has no desire, but she will let us brush her teeth. I mean, she knows enough to that when I put the tooth. Well, let me say this way: if I hold her face and I say I'm gonna brush her teeth, she will sit there and let me brush her teeth.
So Ryan is a little higher because she will if she wants oatmeal, she'll go grab the oatmeal. Sophia doesn't do those things. That she wants to eat, but she doesn't.
She will actually, when she wants to eat, she will actually grab you by your hand and walk you over to the pantry, and she will. Sometimes she'll point at what she wants, but most of the time she just looks up at the pantry up and down I want it all.
Right. And that's in the grand scheme,
actually
relatively new.
It's pretty good though. I mean, because it's definitely a line of communication. She's letting us know that there's something that she wants.
Right. Which and I would say, we have seen, because we do FaceTime with y'all pretty much every week. We have noticed in the last probably what 6 months, 7 months talking to y'all. That where before she'd come on the camera and we'd like, hey, Soph, and she would talk, but she's not looking at us or anything. And now she engages with the call and hey, baby, and like
she'll actually move in closer to the screen,
she'll kiss. Sometimes she'll kiss the screen, so she is engaging with the phone. Where before she's talking, but I have no proof that she's talking to me or Michelle. Where now she does engage with the phone. So a couple of questions as we jump into this. What has been, this is a loaded question. Goodness, this is a loaded question. What has been some of the challenges you have faced with Sophia?
Yeah, you're right. It's a loaded question, and this could take the whole time, but I'm not going to go there. Some of the biggest, and I'll be honest, the most important thing I would say is communication.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that there is, for her, she gets frustrated, and I know her poor little heart, there's something on her mind, and she just doesn't know how to communicate to me. She doesn't have the cognitive ability to tell me, Dad, this is what I want. I'm thirsty. Would you give me something to eat? Or my stomach hurt? Or, Dad, I just broke my foot.
Right,
I have a headache. Anything. There's no way. And so sometimes it's very difficult because she just can't communicate it, or she can communicate it, and we're not just picking up on the signals that she's given us.
Well, and I would agree that we both deal with this, and Sophia's have been at times so extreme, like she slams her face into the floor, and of course we've seen Ryan where we have no idea. Like last night, she rode with Michelle to pick someone up, and she lost her squishy ball, came inside, and
she was mad,
flipped out. And I think you would agree with this. Sometimes with people that don't know our daughters, look at us like, do something, and they don't.
Last night I was like, Dale, do something. Go find her squishy ball. Why is this child screaming this time of lungs and you're not finding her squishy ball? Take care of your child.
And people just don't realize like how tough that is. Lately with Sophia, her foot, and Ryan broke her arm. Like it's hard. Like I remember when, and I know y'all have dealt with this in the hospital too, because it's tough. We took Ryan to the hospital, and he's looking at her going, I'm going to need you to sit really still. I'm like, you are wasting your time. Like, this means nothing what you're saying right now.
And sometimes it's hard because they're both beautiful little girls.
Right.
And when people deal with them or they meet them for the first time, you're expecting these two little girls to act like, normal little girls. And they are, did I use those right?
Yeah.
But you're expecting them to act a certain way. And it's not until about less than a minute into that initial meeting with them, you realize, there's something different, with these two. So
like when we're at Disney and she's doing her crow call or her seagull call, or something like that, or when Ryan goes, like, over it. I mean, and so so what? I mean, we could spend 2 hours talking about the challenge, but I would say I agree with you. The biggest is just the lack of being able to communicate, and you see the frustration in their eyes, and you want to fix it, and you're literally asking her like, just tell me what you need, and because you're guessing. Like some things over the years you've learned, like okay, this is what she's wanting, but sometimes you're just like, I have no idea what you want.
And I saw Michelle last night. It was like, when Ryan was, baby, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. And you want to say that, but deep in your heart, and I think part of us is deep in your heart, you were wishing they could just say, I want my squishy thing. Where's my squishy thing at? And we do the same thing with Sophia. It's like, baby, tell us what you want. Tell us what's hurting. Can you tell us? And it's just very rare that they're able to convey with it, and it's got to be so frustrating for them. As frustrating as it is for us.
Could you imagine if it was?
I can't imagine the feeling of them being trapped inside themselves, saying, "I am clearly communicating to you what I want, and for whatever reason,
you're not getting
it for me."
Yep. So on a lighter note, what have been some of the biggest blessings in having a special needs child?
I will say that, and I'm really good. I think I'll be able to make this without getting emotional, because it's an emotional battle every day. She has taught me so much about patience. She has taught me because with a special needs child, if you don't have patience, it's going to be very, very difficult. I have learned how to look at other people who are different in a completely different light and understand that there are struggles, and that those struggles, they're real. And if you fall anywhere outside the spectrum of the normal, then it makes me look back to how mean I possibly could have been as I was growing up, and making fun of people who were different than I was, because now, it lives in my house, and it lives in my heart. So, I think that's and I never thought I could love. And it kind of goes back to the adoption thing, but I never knew that I could love somebody that wasn't from my body as much as I love this little girl.
Yeah.
And take her for everything she has and know that she's perfect. With all the brokenness, she's just the way God made her. And it's in anything that falls outside of that, of what I expect from her, that's on me.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good. I think I would add to that. I think a big blessing for me, really with both these girls, but I spend more time with my daughter, is I wish sometimes that I could love the way she does. Like, because even last night she's upset, she lost her squishy, but she still wants to kiss on you and wants to hug you, and just this desire to be loved. Even when y'all showed up yesterday, she like crawled up next to Noah, like she hadn't seen him in forever, and she just laid with him and stuff, and just this desire to draw people in, and just with her smile, and just there's no hatred in her heart. Like I just wish that I could have that level of lack of judgment and skepticism, and just love people that way.
And quick to forgive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, just like, oh, I did wrong. You got onto me, but I'm back. Like, and we're good. And and you saw it last night. Like, I had to sit her in timeout because I was like, okay, you have to sit over there. And she stopped crying. She jumped right back over here next to me.
Yeah. And there's been times, and I'll be honest, and we have special needs daughter, but they still get disciplined.
Absolutely.
Because I'll tell you, they in their own way, they still learn, and they're smart.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, for sure. They do it in their own way, and they may not do it the way we want them to do it, but they do it in their own way. So they do get disciplined. And I'll tell you that when I have to discipline Sophia, because I know how much she loves me, she loves being affectionate, she loves to give her kisses, is that she also knows that after I'm down on her and she's in trouble for something, the way that Sophia lets you know she wants to give you kisses, she goes, and she starts to lean in. That means she wants to give you a kiss. And if I get onto her, she's quick to say,
yeah.
And when I don't respond, because part of the punishment, and then all of a sudden these real tears swell up, like I've just broken her heart.
Yeah.
And that is one of the hardest things, is to know that I have done something to hurt that innocence.
Yeah.
And know that there's repercussions for what you've done. But she has learned.
Right.
But I agree with you 100%. There's an innocence there that, my goodness, I wish that we all still had.
Yeah, I would say a thing that Ryan does, and it reminds me, honestly, it reminds me of my walk with God, is when Ryan is genuinely upset and she cries, she'll come up to you and grab your hand and ask and use your hand to wipe her tears away.
Yeah. Wow. It's almost like she's saying, I want you to feel this.
Yeah.
That this is real.
Like, I want you to understand how bad I hurt. And I feel like for most of us, when it comes to God, we slap his hand away when he wants to do it. So, but yeah, I feel like another huge blessing is it's drawn my family and my friends closer as a whole, just to get them to see in and to try to understand what we walk through. And even my Charlie, and Ethan both love on her greatly, and there's been many days where we've had to go. I know this sucks. Like, I know we had plans as a family, but Ryan had other plans, and
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
And I'll be honest, and it goes to our friends. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how we would have done this without all of our friends walking through this journey with us, because it has been, and it still is, exhausting. It's gotten a little bit easier as we've gone on through almost our 10th year with her, but it's been it's been
as
exhausting.
much as she's learning. As parents, we're learning.
Yeah.
Like, we know, don't do that. It's going to set her off. Like, there's times when people do something, I'm like, oh my God.
Bro, and it's crazy because now Sophia is getting to that, and it's a scary thing. She's getting to that, pre-adolescent stage, and we're seeing some changes, not just in her physically, but we're seeing this little lady growing up, and we're seeing some changes in who she is, and who she's trying to become. And we're seeing, and it's weird because we're starting to see a little bit of a, almost like a little preteen trying to come up. We're seeing a little attitude. We're starting to see,
fun.
yeah, we're starting. I was like, oh my goodness. And I actually told her before I left, I said, just not, I hope you never get tired of giving me kisses.
Yeah.
Because I love that. And I hate to think that, because, I know how daughters get. Now, Charlie's not like that. Charlie gives you all kind of love. Charlie loves her daddy.
Charlie will.
But and I'll be honest, that's kind of she's the gold standard for what daughters should be like.
There's days where I'm sweating and she's like, I'm like, baby, I love you. Can you give me like 3 minutes?
But my whole thing is like, I'm like, my prayer is that she always remembers that, that I love her and that she has that desire to just, because those kisses, and that affection really, really just, and I know she'll never understand it, but it gets me through a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So next question is, how has the Lord blessed our family dynamic in adopting special needs children? Because I would say both of us, we didn't know we were adopting, especially y'all. We knew that there was a chance that Ryan was going to have complications, but when y'all first got Sophia, that wasn't the case. Like, well, I mean, we don't know that, but like, you didn't know it at the time.
We didn't know.
And I would say we thought we had. I mean, and let me be clear, the amount of things they were saying that was going to be along with Ryan, like we counted as miracles and blessings that she doesn't. She was supposed to have a pacemaker. She was supposed to be blind. She was supposed to be deaf. So we do count the blessings that God did in her life. But it definitely changed the family dynamic, I think, for both.
Yeah.
I mean, and to me, like, even with your families, I love watching your boys with her. And just, they've learned how to be there. And even as they've gotten older, they're like, hey, we got her. You and mom go have a date. Like,
I'll be honest, it is actually, it forced, when I look back now, and I feel bad for my boys, in the sense that when we first got Sophia, within the first few months of her being in our lives, it's changed enough. I mean, that's change. We're adding another human being to our lives, and there wasn't the 9 months to prepare for this.
right.
It was, they are here, she's in our life. And this is who she is. But for us, Sophia had to go to the hospital, almost immediately. So we went from not only bringing this little girl into our house, Sophia was in the hospital for about a month, after having her first set of seizures. And, of course they were trying to figure out what was wrong with her. And, so it drew and our boys were younger, especially Caleb, who's been the baby. Now all of a sudden,
He's not the baby.
Mom and dad are away, and it forced them to grow up pretty quick. Having said that, I think it also made them realize that that this is their little sister, and they had to grow up fast, and they learned to love, I think, in a different way. And in a pretty quick, they learned how to love this little girl, and they realized how important she was. And I still, to this day, I think that any of the young ladies who are in our boys' lives are better for it, because my boys learned how to properly love a young lady.
Well,
And they learned that they didn't like to see her hurt. And I think that's so. I think that now, anytime that they're involved in a relationship, they take special care of.
I think they also have a natural heart to sacrifice, because it's not just loving her. There was a long season there where y'all didn't know what the next day looked like.
Yeah.
Where she was in the hospital for a long time and there's nobody giving answers. I used to tell the story like your hospital room was like the TV show House. There'd be 10, 11 doctors walking in there and no one's giving answers. Like, and just watching them see the burden on y'all and not just be like, where's my time? Just desire to make it as easy as they could for y'all. Because it had been real easy for them to just throw a fit and be like, when I'm not getting the attention I deserve. And instead they're like, we see what our parents are trying to do and we want to make it as easy as possible, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, sure.
And I said the same thing for mine. I think mine, there's a lot of weekends that they are like, and there's one of those things where I'm blessed to have this, but I also hate it for my kids where they're like, hey, do you need my help this weekend or can I go do this?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, because of the way I work and the way Michelle's work, I'm like, no, I need you to stay home. And
there's a lot of selflessness that come with your kids, and I've noticed that as well.
I also know that it's made them better human beings.
Yeah.
For the kingdom and for whoever. I tell people all the time, like, you won't have to worry if they're going to love you well. They know how to do that. So
you're right, and it's funny because I believe that when you look back, and when I look back at our young boys and their lives, somehow along that pathway, God was not only preparing us, but He was preparing them, because I think our boys knew that the things that we were doing in our life was going to be for the kingdom.
Right.
And so I think that in their minds, when we decided to take that next step of adoption, I think that somehow God had already started to prepare their hearts, because this is what He'd called us to do, not just as parents, but as a family.
Absolutely.
And so I think that part helped.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let's we kind of talked about how this has ministered to us. Let's jump to this last question. What are some things, because I think this could be a loaded question. What are some things that you wish people on the outside looking in would try to understand about having a special needs child? I got one.
Go ahead.
And you kind of started this. You flirted with it early. They are different. They're not less.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think sometimes, and I do have patience with people because I do know if you don't know Ryan, she can make you nervous. Like she's a bull in a china cabinet. So I have an understanding in that, but I also think there's times where they're like asking me, I'm like, she's right there. Like if you want to see if she wants a cookie, give her a cookie. Like she'll let you know. But I think there's a lot of people that say hello to Ryan all the time, and they never try to get to know her.
Yeah.
Out of fear, or just I don't know. I don't even know if it's fear. I don't know what it is. Like I look in my life and I go, there's people that see her every week, and they're like, "Hey Ryan, how are you?" But I'm like, do you really want to, like, do you want to jump into that? Like, and I'm sure there's some of that with, Sophia too. Like it's like you can see that she's different, but she's not a less. God perfectly made her.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that, and I'll be honest. I've gotten to the point in my life I really don't care what people think.
Yeah,
I don't care what they think about her. I will defend her should I need to, and God, please give me the patience when I need to do it in a loving way. But I've been fortunate to not have to really. Well,
I can remember early years,
that.
And you did well when a lady wanted to pray over her, the generational sins out of her, because that's why she was that way, which really
No, that was actually, and I'm not going to say this person's name.
Yeah.
There was actually somebody that we were at church that actually said that.
Oh, I remember.
About her, saying that she's going to be carrying the sins of generations. And it was I sure that we really wanted to do this. But yeah, people like that are petty, that are that try to use scripture to. I'll be honest with you, I don't even have time for that, Dale.
Yeah.
I don't have time for those naive people. For you who don't know, I have a tendency to not always to. I'll anger quick when it comes to defending my family, but I'm maturing a little bit. I'm trying to get better at that. But for as far as people go, I hope people who I'm actually more concerned about people who have special needs children and how they feel, and I hope that they understand that they're not alone. That all the concerns that they're having, are valid. But I would tell you to surround yourself with people who will love on you and your family, no matter what the circumstances are. That has been the best. That has been the best thing. But as far as what people think, I can't control what people think. I don't really care what people think. I tend to not surround myself around people that are negative when it comes to my daughter, or anything like that. So, yeah.
Well, and I would even say for people that have special needs kids, whether it's biological or adopted, I would encourage you to know that God saw something in you that this child needed.
Yeah.
Because there are tough days. There are days where you're wanting to be done. And anyone say that they're not, they're lying.
Bro, it is a life changer.
When they wake up at 3:00 in the morning, trying to be sweet,
trying to be loving, trying to talk. Sophia has a tendency to get up early in the morning, typically around 4:00, and she's nonverbal, but she has this. She likes to run through. It's almost like somebody who's getting up in the morning. She's got to run through her repertoire of sounds, and all the 5 sounds she makes. And as the morning goes on, it gets louder and louder. Like she's working it to perfection.
Yeah.
To the point where we're like, okay, we are up. Don't worry. And she starts off nice and quiet, and those sounds get louder, louder, louder. Almost like she says, "Hey, you hear me? I'm awake now."
Yeah. Oh no, trust me. We did it. We stayed up late last night hanging out.
Yeah.
This morning at 5:45, Ryan crawled 2 inches from my face and I was like, and that's the first one, and I'm like, they're gonna get louder until I open my eyes. So I just I'm literally praying, please, Lord, drop something on her where she just falls asleep. And I was like, I'm trying not to laugh. I'm like, because if I laugh, now it's a game. I was like, oh, here we go. And it's like, but she kisses me, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. And so I would just encourage anyone. What a blessing that God trusted you with such a situation.
Yeah, and it's scary. I mean, there are definitely scary aspects of this. It's not easy, but you're right. It is 100% a blessing. I would not change it for anything. I can't imagine her not being in our lives, because the things that Meredith and I cannot do, because we have Sophie in our life, is nothing in comparison to what we can do because she's in our lives.
Absolutely.
And that is worth enough right there. The scary part is, I hope I outlive her, and I'm not going to go into my deep conversations about that, because that's tough. But my prayer also is that God delivers, that God will prepare her siblings to take care of her once we're gone.
No, I have to live in the belief that God loves her more than he loves me, or that I can love her. So he's going to take care of her.
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking about Ryan, and I think you would agree. It's helped not just your walk with your kids and with him. It's helped your marriage.
Yeah.
You have. I believe my marriage is completely different because me and my wife. It's a team effort.
You have to be on the same page, especially when it comes to a special needs child.
I mean, you need to do that with all kids, but
especially if you're not on the same page when it comes to raising your kids. You better get on the same page if God blesses you with a special needs kid, because you're talking about all kind of chaos that's about to hit the fan if you're not.
Any closing remarks?
You know, I just, you know, yeah. I mean, I am thankful that that I've had you guys to walk through this with, and all of our friends and the Armentars and the Brights, and you know, again, we couldn't do it without you guys. But more importantly, we're honored to have y'all as friends to be able to walk through this, well, you know, together. And I think it's brought our friendships even closer.
Absolutely. The only thing I would add, again, we are blessed to have a community, whether it's me and Michelle are running late and Jess brings Ryan home with her until we can get there, or the weekends that the Brights have taken Ryan where we get to do nothing but sleep, which is it's very rare to sleep through the night, and that is a blessing. But I would even tell you, I would argue, if you get to know,
you take the time to get to know them,
get to know children that are special needs, you actually get to see what it looks like to have the love of Christ in it without the idols of the world clouding it.
Yeah. There's a purity. There's a purity there that is unmatched because they don't know.
They're not worried about your praise or your what you can do for them. They just want to love you, and sometimes that looks different, but maybe it should. So,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for this episode. If you have questions, again, we are not professionals. We are professionals at raising special needs daughters. We would love to talk to you. If you need prayer, we'd love to pray with you. It takes a community. If you have questions, we'll give you the answers that we've done. And you might go, that was a horrible advice. Well, it worked for us.
Yeah.
And so we would love to be there for you. Feel free to reach out to us in the comments and we will get back with you. But thank you, and we will see y'all next week. Culture on Tap is sponsored by Houston Radio Platinum, playing the best classic hits. You can download Houston Radio Platinum app. It is in the App Store, or just ask Alexa to play Houston Radio Platinum.